everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today's video we're doing the March bullet journal spread. So I have done my plan here. I actually drew this when I had a little bit of downtime at work and then just did some color work trying to figure out what I wanted to do for line art and colors and whatnot. I made some notes here about how I wanted pastel colors with wavy checkers and flowers. This is heavily inspired by somebody else's bullet journal theme where they had like a silly goose, almost like an Instagram thing. I thought it was adorable, so I have chosen to include my own little silly geese. Are they really that silly? No, but we're gonna roll with it. So I've done everything in pencil, and now we're just gonna go ahead and start with the line art. I think this might be full of mistakes. I'm just gonna preface this video with that because I've chosen to do a bunch of different, like this is kind of what we're going for, this one here. So the flowers are gonna be outlined in a thin black number 3 micron. The checkerboards are going to be in my 5 purple micron, but everything is going to be outlined in a thick black, which we're doing the 0.8 Stadler, however you say it, liner. In terms of bigger titles, haven't decided if I wanted to do solid black or like a darker purple than the checkerboard because we're going pastel with that. I don't know. I have some pastel colors picked out, my Tombos, and then I was like orange for the beak, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, some of them are also going to have a green background instead of like a purple background. I'm rambling now. Let's just get on with the video and I will talk more about it through this time lapse. We are starting off strong with the black line art first with a thick pen, and then I go in with the other liners. I do attempt to change the eye a little bit because I wasn't super happy with it to begin with, but anyways, I ended up just settling for a pretty simple looking eye. And then as we go through this and I start adding the colors to the flowers, I realized that having only 3 colors was maybe not quite enough. So what I ended up doing is adding in that green color that I planned on having for the background of some of them, because I didn't want to just leave the flowers white. I tried it with the white. You'll see here when I go in and I start coloring in the checkerboard, I still have a couple white flowers. I didn't love the way that that looked, so that's why I decided to add that green in there. And I'm really happy that I did choose that direction. And then in the boxes where there's a green background, instead of leaving white flowers, I made them purple. So it was a nice little flip-flop back and forth. I also decided to add a little bit of blush to the geese and then do the big letters in that darker purple color like I was talking about in the intro. So after the title page, I was like, this is so freaking cute. I love it so much. So I was kind of hyped up and I just kept going with it. So we're doing the entire calendar on 1 page instead of 2, keeping that wavy checkerboard for the calendar boxes I thought was pretty creative, and then just leaving those flowers all over the background. I do have a couple of geese poking out from behind the calendar. I chose to include both a black goose and a white goose because the reference picture that I was like going off of had both colors of geese, and I thought it was really cute to have like the yin yang almost, and it just added a little bit of extra oomph. Nothing else really special with the calendar page. For the habit tracker, I just have these I don't even know what to call them, boxes, and I chose to keep that checkerboard theme going throughout them, and I've just flipped them forwards and backwards so that it's not all the same. And then I made the lines separating the days also wavy. I don't know how I feel about that. And then because this is a month with 31 days, not 30, I had to block out one of the boxes, which is why there's those weird black squares at the ends, which I don't know if I'm fully thrilled with the habit tracker. In my mind, it was better than it actually turned out to be, but if that's the least favorite part, then that's totally fine because the rest of it is amazing in my personal opinion. So moving on to the mood tracker, we have the goose, and then you just fill in one of the squares in the background for the mood tracker. And then because again, this is a 31-day month, I couldn't figure out how to get the squares to line up properly. So the goose has a flower in its mouth, and the flower is the 31st day to fill in. Moving on to week 1, this is the spread that I am referencing most heavily, I think, out of like all the rest of them. I really liked the way that they had the boxes laid out, and then the boxes that you put your to-do list or events or whatever were slightly smaller. I liked that aesthetic, so I did go ahead and use that same layout here. So I chose to fill my boxes with the patterns that we've been going over for the last little bit of the spread so far. So I have my wavy checkerboard, and then I have my flowers. Here you can see I left them white, and then I decided to add the color purple in later, and these are the ones with the green background that I was mentioning earlier because we haven't done green background yet. I like the contrast between the green and the purple. I think that they go really nicely together. And so that's why the thumbnail for this picture has green and purple backgrounds, because I thought it was nice. Anyways, here we go again with the 2 different colors of geese. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for the background. I didn't really want just a solid color, even though that's the way that I planned it. So I just decided to do green and purple speckles behind the geese. For week 2, because the previous week was 6 days, I wanted 8 days. I'm not somebody who does the weekend in one box because I start my days on Sunday. And I find that just gets a little confusing if you do like Saturday and Sunday in the same box, but they're at opposite ends of the week, if that makes sense. So this spread is very straightforward. I just have horizontal boxes for the tasks, events, whatever you want to write in there, and then just strips of pattern down the 2 sides. So again, going in with the 4 colors of flowers and the pale purple as the checkerboard. So nothing too fancy here. Some of my flowers are kind of wonky, and that's totally fine. I feel like it just adds to the vibe that I've got going on with like the wonky checkerboard, because nothing has to be perfect, and it just gives it a little bit of hand-drawn charm. Whereas like if I were to draw this digitally, I would probably be really anal about making the flowers all look perfect. Just going ahead and adding the days of the week and numbers there. And then we move into week 3, which is referencing back to week 1 with the boxes, only these boxes are much smaller, and I've chosen to do a combo vertical and horizontal spread. So we've got the 2 different colors of geese, the green background with the flowers, the checkerboard background, and then I had 1 leftover box. So I decided to do just like the main pattern with the checkerboards and the flowers there. Now you may be seeing that I'm coloring in all these black geese with my brush pen, and that's because it's one of the few markers that I have in the black color that isn't dried out, because I use the black marker so frequently, and I still have not bought a new one. So maybe I should get on that so that I stop limiting myself with what colors and styles we're gonna do. But if it turns out to be this cute, maybe I should just continue to keep limiting myself and not use nearly as much black as I have been for the last little bit here. So I decided to just time-lapse this video because there's only so much that I can say about the patterns and the layout, and it was pretty fast to come together. Actually, I did all of the pencil sketching, line art, coloring, and like filming of this all in one day, in one afternoon actually, because I sleep in. So yeah, that's why I decided to time-lapse this whole video instead of having like real-time portions in it. And this is the 4th and final week that I've done for March. This is the one that like came to me at work when I was planning this, and I needed to draw it immediately so that I didn't forget. So I just have the same goose from the title page in the top left corner, and then I've chosen to follow that same pattern with the flowers and the checkerboards across the tops of the boxes. I did try and make the yellow centers of the flowers bigger for the days of the week, because that's where I'm going to put the numbers, and then the words for the week will just go across that checkerboard. And then that's it. Like I said, this is pretty straightforward, but it's so cute. So I'm really happy with how everything is turning out. And this is the final flip through of March. I think it turned out really cute. I'm really happy with the way that everything looks. As my husband just came in and pointed out, it would be really cute if the ducks were wearing, or goose, or whatever you want to call these little birds, more like 60s outfits, because this is very much like a 60s vibe is what I get from this. So if you're feeling extra artsy and creative, you could always put your geese or ducks into costumes. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Mondays or Wednesdays, usually about twice a month. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you all in the next video.